So let's go back to Vav again. So having explained that Golus and Geula and all of the details of pregnancy, of the state of the uber, of the fetus in the mother's womb, and the change then that happens at birth, and all the details of that, the moichin between the head between the knees, and then digesting the food and tasting it after birth, that's moichin, tainug, the cholov, the milk, and the incredible and very moving teaching, revelation that the milk is created from the dam, from the blood. In general, of course, the blood is gevura and cholav, white is chesed, so it comes from it. The gilui la'asid lavai, the revelation at geula comes as a result of the avodah in zman hagolus, which is primarily kabbalas oil, which is exactly the description of the uber in the mother's womb. And all of the detail that we learned. So Vav, therefore, in conclusion, as we've learned this, so the Eibusha says to Moshe Rabbeinu that Shmi Havaya I did not make known to them, only Bekel Shaddai, all-powerful God, simple meaning again, Rashi, all-powerful, but not a true God, not one that comes good on his promises. That's a simple pshat. So he said the Voeira means both past and future. So he's talking about the revelation that happens in Golos, and we explained that at length, how there is the inyan of Moichin, but it's concealed. It's Behelem. And the Pasuk simultaneously is also talking about Voeira in the future, Mashi is Gal al Yedeze Ba'aleida the Yitzias Mitzrayim, and what will be by Yitzias Mitzrayim. And hence, how is this conveyed in the pasuk? Therefore, the pasuk says, "Ve'era appealed bekel Shaddai ushmi Havaya lo nidaiti lehem." That the Yidden are not privy to Shem Havaya before Geula. Now, that contradicts what he said at the beginning of the Maimer when explaining the contrast between the Avos and the Shvatim. Because there he said in the Avshin is barely else if Allah Shitzalovas Hoyagil Shem Havaya. How did that seal us? How is he saying that he didn't reveal Shem Havaya? That's the Madrege. Answer, true, however. But it's not the true revelation of Shem Havaya, but as it's drawn and revealed through Kel Shaddai, which is in general Malchus. As explained, Shin Daled Yud is one of Hashem's names, according to one opinion at least, and it has many meanings, including die. God said, die enough to each creation. Each creation was created in a finite way, limited. She'omar die, Shin Dal Yud stands for She'omar die lo ilomei. So that's Helen Vehester, that's concealment. So Taka Shem Havaya, but Shem Havaya, as it's revealed in Kel Shin Daled Yud. We pronounce it Shakai. But it's not the true blikvol of Shem Havaya. And when is that? That's Voeira in the future. This was revealed through Moishe Rabbeinu. You says they you are going to merit Shem Havaya. The Gil of Shem Havaya. When? By Yitzias Mitzrayim, which is the birth, as we explained at length in the Maimon now, or Befrat the Matan Torah. When you said Yitzias Mitzrayim, so the thing is, as we're explaining, that Yitzias Mitzrayim on Yen Haleida. Yitzias Mitzrayim was birth. So that's when the child, Yidden, Klal Yisrael, Neshamas Yisrael, begin to be nourished through the mouth. The garden, where there's the inyan of town, the head, Moichin. So that begins the Nike Shadezet Tia Hakdol as Hamidis Vamoichin. This causes the Midis and the Moichin to grow. The Midis are relative to the Moichin. Obepratis Yes in Inyan Nike Pale Rakakdolas Geshem Evarim. Now in more detail. The Nike, the nursing, so that pales the Geshem Evarim. The Gashmias of the limbs, the Gamakdolas Hamidis, and also the growth of the emotions. What's the connection between the limbs and the emotions? Kevarim kshurim imamidis. The emotions are connected with the midis. Okay, a bit of arithmetic. This is where we're up to. Kimarumas v'misper ramach ivarim, as alluded to in the fact that how many limbs are there? 248. So what's this number? Hamachuven keneged hamidos. They correspond to the midas, which are, it doesn't, Malchus is not a midas, so it's 9. Tes pa'amim tes, 9 times 9. What's that? 81, correct. That much even I know. The rest again have to do on your own. Sometimes we say beprotis zah refers to the 6 midas, but in the big picture, zeiranpin is all tesvidas of Atzilus. Kafisha klulim zem, they're all incorporated, integrated, so it's 9 times 9. So far we're 81. Now we multiply it, gimel pa'amim. 81 times 3. Sorry, I can't.
240.
Yeah, 240. What? 40?
3.
Yeah, 43. Why are we multiplying it by 3? Says in the brackets, connected that gimel pchinis, because everything has 3 dimensions. There's the rosh, there's the toich, and there's the sof, the head, the middle, and the end. And then the chasodim, the 5 chasodim, which correspond to the, amongst other things, the 5 fingers of the hand, the right hand. There's also the Gvuras, that's the 5 fingers of the left hand. So the chasodim magdilim, and then the 5 chasodim, which cause the growth. This is all Kabbalah in Yonim and Eitz Chaim, and it's explained in Chassidus at length, in Kotetayr and other places. So now you just added 5, and what's the answer? The end result, 248. So that's the connection between the midas and the evarim. And the limbs are the expression of the midas. We see this also on another model, of course, that the 248 positive mitzvahs, and then there's shasa, 365 negative commands. You do the mitzvahs with your limbs, and the shasa, they are the sinews or the veins actually, which restrain the blood that shouldn't be dispersed wastefully and injuriously. That's the loisase. So I'm saying the mitzvahs that are mach mitzvahs are the ivarim. They're the limbs with which we perform the mitzvahs, yeah, as opposed to the gidin. This is what, so he's saying like this, the Yanike pales, the original, the process of the child's development. So it starts with Yanike. So first, that's what the midas. That's what you see in a child, the emotions, and very, very powerful emotions. Avala, unrestrained. They're small, but they're unrestrained. Small as in they're shallow things. Avala moichim memadain bekatnos. But the brain is still in an undeveloped stage, still literally small. She's in moichin di yanika. That's the moichin di yanika. So the brain is being nourished, but still being weaned and nursed, literally, but nourished, but it's still in an undeveloped relative stage. That's Yitzias Mitzrayim. Its birth. Ve'ilu inyan Moichen the Gadlos. So when is the Moichen the Gadlos, the brain developed? It was a quick meteoric rise. And that nase b'matan Torah dafka happens by matan Torah. Matan Torah is sometimes described as bar mitzvah, sometimes wedding. Either way, it's a stage of maturity. And then by matan Torah was revealed the true Shem Havaya. B'chinas yochid shelamayla b'chinas echad, as we learned at length before, the difference between yochid and echad. And that is Shenimshech al Yadei Moishe, and Davka Moshe Rabbeinu is mamshich the level of Yochid exclusivity and absoluteness of the Eibishter of Elikos because of his bittul. She'omar v'nachnu mo, and what are we? Referring to himself an Aaron. Pirush. So what are we is a question, but Pnimis, it's a statement. V'nachnu mo. As for us, we are nothing. It's a statement. Now what's mo? That's chachma. Koyach ma shebechachma. Moshe Rabbeinu embodies the bittul of chachma. So bittul, what as in, maybe we even counted this 1,000 times. What's ma got to do with bittul? What's it got to do with the word ma? Anybody want to offer? I'm sure we've said it, but sometimes we just say it over because we learned this when we were children. What does it mean? Poshet ma means it defies definition. You can't define it because it's bottle. Nothing to define here. No me. What are you looking at? There's nothing to look at. That's one meaning. There are other meanings. Akoponim, so that's Moshe Rabbeinu is chachma, koyach ma shebechachma, the bittul. Sha'bittul b'metzius, because koyach could be a metzius. This is a koyach of ma, of bittul. And amongst other things, in Voeira, it means that a person is always questioning himself. He's questioning himself. He's never smug. Sure, bittul b'metzius. This is bittul b'metzius. That's Moshe Rabbeinu's dargish. Ein shema filo bittul ha'midus v'sachdusam. It's higher than the bittul of midas and their unity, which is an incredible level. It's higher than that. What is that? What's the integration of the midas, which can only happen through bittul? Shezeu inyan echad kanal siv gimel. But this is not echad, this is yachid. Emes a bittul. Bittul b'metzias. That's a bittul ayesh. And if you recall, how did the Maimah begin? The Maimah began actually I'm referring to the Maimah we just learned, the Maimah of Limedat Torah. No, okay, so let's continue. He reintroduces it now. It wasn't mentioned before. And this is the Maimah of Limedat Torah, which is Matan Torah. There was Ma'isa Mitzvahs before. But the Chiddush is Matan Torah. Lagabe Ma'isa Mitzvahs Gam Lachne Matan Torah. Even after the Torah is given, there's still a mile of Limedat Torah because after the Torah is given, there's a mile in mitzvahs. After Matan Torah, the mitzvah is transformed as well because they're commanded, and that's much greater than doing it voluntarily, as explained in Chassidus. You think the other way. So what's the answer?
What about you? It's a command. But what Hashem commands is about him. If you decide that it's more What about you?
Right. So the mitzvah from Matan Torah didn't change anything. It's part of the world. It doesn't bring godliness to the world unless God commands it. Right. But still, even though the Maisa mitzvahs after Matan Torah also have been radically affected, we actually transform the world. We bring a likus, the chibur of gvul and bligvul, all of the milas, explain chassidus. Still, there's a mile of limedat Torah key because Maisa mitzvah beginnes avedis eved. What's the Maisa mitzvah? It's an eved. Sheshemei bekel Rabbi vayisat tzivoy. If he listens to his master and fulfills his commandments. Avol adayin yeshna metziyishli. This is the Maimar we just learned, right? The Maimar of the Yisrei Maimar, Matan Torah Maimar. Avol adayin yeshna metziyis shaloi, but there's still his metziyis. Shehu ha'osav makayim dvar hamelech. He is the one, and you need someone independent to fulfill the king's words. Mashenkin limedat Torah. Torah is God's composition, not ours. He is nothing. He doesn't do anything. So what's happening? He's a herald, a messenger. The king Shemachar is a mashmiach that announces and lets know Dvar HaMelech. He doesn't out of his own. He's commanding and giving over all the words of the kings. It's the king's commandment. Right, this was the arichas in that Maimar. Now comes an interesting addition. In what aspect of limudat? Not so much the learning, because the learning is his mitzias. He understands akasha teretz. But where is the bittul? Dafka deya dibur b'Torah, saying the words. Shebezem udgeshes haiskashus shalodom. That underscores the person's bond leikol kachim seichel hamelech with the king's ideology. Elim rotzen hamelech, but the rotzen of the king. So what do? Shemizgala bedibur, that is expressed dafkin dibur v'tzivya melech in the actual command. Asher bedvar melech shiltoin. By the word of the king does he rule. Sheyumshach v'yizgala lamatat tzmusa yizborich. So what happened by Matan Torah? Therefore, Matan Loichi Havayli Kechad is drawing down at tzmusa yizborich. Kifish who Chinas Yochid on Loichi is revealed where in the world, and that's the true birth. That's Moishe and the godless. And the keli for that is Moshe Rabbeinu Bittul, Anachnu Ma. And that's the birth that happens by Matan Torah. With all of the virtues that we explained and the details that we explained, contrasting the state of birth to the state of pregnancy. That was when by Yetzias Mitzrayim. So l'chayra, what's left? So he says, even though Matan Torah Nizgala mit this inyan Shem Havaya, so even though talking Matan Torah was that mit Shem Havaya was revealed, Harbe Shem Havaya Guf, however, Shem Havaya itself, Yesh Kamadak, as we just learned, that by the others is also Shem Havaya, but what? It's Shem Havaya, it's Nimshech in Kel Shakash, Kel Shin Daled Yud. So there's dargis. So much so that there's a darge, which is tzarich iyun to understand this, but let's read the statement. V'yesh gam shemavai she'ein ba'oisius. How could that be? Shemavai means oisius. But there's a level of shemavai, there's no oisius, not even no oisius, le'tagim le'nekudis, which are even more subtle. The tagim, the strokes, and the nekudis, the vowels are even more subtle than the letter itself. These are Shemavaya Atzmi, that's higher than Oisius. The Makkah here is in Kabbalah and in Chassidus, Erat Torah. Shemavaya Atzmi. Va'ad, and even higher than that. There's even a higher dargah. The Bechina Shemavai Sh'olav Ne'emar, there's a level of Shemavai about which the pasuk says, Sha'ad Shlei Nivra Elam, before the world was created, Hayahu Ushmai Bilvad, is only he and his name. So that dargah of Shem is even higher than the dargah of Shemavai that ain't by Oisius. Whatever these dargahs are, that we appreciate, Kidisa B'Shalah, like he says in the Shalah, it says all in Atzmi. So this dargahs in Shemavai. To understand how does that, we reconcile that with the notion of Oisius, end of the day, we're calling that. So that's not for now. And therefore, to achieve the loftiest level, that's the kavanah. So the story didn't end by Matan Torah. And even after the birth of Yitzias Mitzrayim, the godless the Matan Torah, and the Meichen the godless, as we explained, as opposed to the Yanike, which was Yitzias Mitzrayim, which is the Ivorim and the Midas, but then comes Matan Torah, Limbidat Torah, which is Meichen the godless, and his Mamshech Shem Havaya, the Bittul, especially the words of Torah, it's all wonderful, but still, there's more. Yeshnoid Inyan Shel Iba V'Leida. It's destined to be followed by further Ibur V'Leida, which means Golus and Gul, and not one. Shazer Klolos Inyan Demasin V'Vedisin Kol Zman Meshach HaGolus, that we're referring to as the Ibur of Zman HaGolos, which means that the Avodah gets deeper and higher. We come to the ultimate Leida, after which there's no more Golos. We see the connection very profoundly to the Maamar we just learned. Okay, so Chaim is not here, but he would insist that at least we read. I'm not going to repeat the whole Maamar, but that's your job to learn it over. But let's just at least read the Teichanoy in Yonim. Which reads as follows. That Atzmos HaMaitzil. Anybody again? Maitzel, translate. Emanator. Yep. Source of Atzilus. So that's called Yochid. And Yochid means there's nothing else that could unite with him or does. But however, the lower dargah, when the oil is nimshach in the midas elyonis, that's already called echad, as we just learned now. That's already integration, and achdus, integration with what? With something else. That's the midas, they're metzius and they're harmonious. That's echad. So this indicates a unity with the other. However, bisman hazeh dam shachav yachid, in echad is concealed. But lasid love, it will be avaya echad, shmoy echad, avaya echad will be revealed, as we just learned now, in its essential and absolute state. And this will explain why Golos is called an Ibur and Geula is called Leida, because in Zman HaGolos, the Avodah is only with Nehi, Netzachayid Yesoid, Maise Bepoel, Kabbalas Oil. That's what I'm looking for. Netzach is determination. Netzach is dogged determination. Persistence. Hoid, Yesoid. So that is the Uber Roishe Ben Birka. That's the head between the knees. That's the state of the Uber. And there's no taste. It's Behele. That's why the child eats directly from the mother directly into the intestines, and there's no time. But he said there is subtly, otherwise the moichin couldn't grow. The moichin grows from the time. And it didn't bring a source for that. That's quite an amazing thing. The begashmius, the taste of food. The taste is produced by certain nutrients that produce taste. It's a mitzias in the food that nourishes the moichin, which is all about time. So there's no time. On the other hand, what is there? Nihi, netzachot yisod, ma'isa mitzvahs. It's the ma'isa mitzvahs, is managolos, that creates the oid and the chayes that will be revealed, lasit lovoi, and you fill in the blank. He says it here. No, you don't have it. So what's the parallel in the matzvah of the Uber, this beautiful Nakuda? It's the ma'isa mitzvahs now that produce the gilui lasit lovoi. That's maybe the main point of the Maimed. Hint, blood, the dam. The blood, the dam is nekar, decomposes and becomes the cholav, for which the child is then nourished after birth. The Gemara didn't need that, right? As long as she's nursing, there can be no dam nida. So that's the two pirushim in Voeira. What was revealed in Golos, that's only Shem Havaya in Shem Kel Shin Daled Yud, that's the level of Nihi. But La'osid in Managula will be the Isgalus of the Midas and the Moichin, full revelation because of the Giloy of Yachid. So Yitzias Mitzrayim was the birth. That's the growth of the Midas. That's the nursing period. And then comes the adulthood. That's Matan Torah. And that was the true Shem Havaya. But in Shem Havaya itself, there are many levels. And the Emesig Shem Havaya is Dafked Lasid Lavai after subsequent travails of future Ibud and Leda, and again Ibud and Leda, and again Ibud and Leda, the various Golas and that God decided we should be subject to. So all of this leads to the ultimate Tainug, the Giloy of Cholav, Tvash v'Cholav, Tachas l'Sheni, the sweetness and the Giloy of Pnimis HaTorah, the Atzmis of Torah, Shem Havaya, even higher than the Oisius, Hayahu Ushmai Bilvad is revealed where? Here, Lamata Nilam Hazah. Okay, so what's that?
Is any of eating milk on Shavuos connected to
Yeah. Absolutely. That's one of the reasons we eat milchis and Shavuos, because Torah is compared to Cholav. It's a pasuk I just quoted. Dvash v'Cholav tachas l'sheni. Cholav v'dvash, I think it says. It's one of the reasons, yeah.